Well, here we is in Hollywood at the new Amoeba, the new store. Had to go in. Didn't think I was gonna spend any money, but I did. Let's see what I got. Greetings, y'all. Welcome to Los Angeles. Here we are at the world-renowned, infamous, magnificent LA River. Aren't you jealous? Don't you wish you could be here right now? Smelling the dead skunk over there. Anyways, we are here not to speak of the magnificent LA River, but we are here to speak of something else magnificent in LA, Amoeba Music in Hollywood. I've been there many, many times. I always end up finding a ton of stuff there when I visit. This visit was no different, although initially when I started looking around for the stuff, I initially was hitting up the want list that I have, and I wasn't finding anything, and I had this idea in my head for the first time ever I might walk out of an Amoeba with nothing purchased, but that changed instantly and I walked out with a bunch of stuff. This is the new store. They moved. They used to be on, I think, Sunset, and now they moved to Hollywood Boulevard to a new store. It's, I guess, supposed to be a little bit smaller, but being in there, comparing it to the old location, it felt pretty similar. It's a big open, spacious spot. The old place used to be good because you could park down below and no problem. Now you have to pay for parking. They do validate, but you do have to pay for parking. But not that big of a headache. But still an awesome store. I mean, I don't know what I can say about this place that I'm sure most of you, if you haven't been there, you've already heard how awesome this place is. Wide selection, pretty good prices, you know what I mean? They've got a lot of used stuff you can find at a good deal. So by all means, when you get to Hollywood, you definitely need to check that place out. And so let's check out what I picked up at Amoeba Music. 2001, we get the Strokes and their debut, Is This It? This is the original cover art. I have this already, but I have the artwork that they changed it to. And I saw this and decided to pick it up because not only is the artwork different, but there's also a track on here, New York City Cops, that they ended up removing from this album because it came out in 2001, right after 9/11 happened, and they felt that the song New York City Cops is a little anti-police, and at that time they felt it was like maybe a little insensitive after 9/11 to have that song on here, so they re-released it with a different track on there in place of that. So I never had this version and just decided to pick it up for that reason. Just thought it'd be kind of cool to own this version of it. It's a great record. I really love this album. Just saw them pretty recently out in Colorado. On here you got Soma, The Modern Age, Last Night, which was kind of the song that introduced them to a lot of people. Hard to explain, Take It or Leave It. Yeah, just awesome rock band, New York City rock band, The Strokes. From 1981 we got The Liars, and I think this is self-titled. Kind of a new wave band, I believe from Boston, because my memory of them, I have one song that was on the DIY Boston Mass Ave compilation. That's how I became familiar with this band. Always liked that song. Kind of been looking for this album, never find it, and was happy to see it there at Amoeba. I don't know if I mentioned new wave band, kind of, but I'm not familiar with any of their other stuff, so this should be really interesting to check out. Some notes inside. I don't know if they're around anymore. I kind of feel like they're not, but perhaps they are. Maybe somebody out there who's more familiar with the band than I am could tell me, but yeah, we're really looking forward to this. The one tune that I know from this is Help You Ann. That's the one song that was on that compilation that I know. So yeah, this will be cool to check out, but really happy to find this one there. 2016, we get M83 and their album Junk with these Muppets on the cover. Not that familiar with this band. I think Moni Muse was talking about them. They're like an electronica band, I believe, and it sounded pretty good. She may have played like a little sampling of a song that sounded kind of cool. So I've been kind of looking for this one, haven't found it. for a reasonable price. Found it there at Amoeba for a pretty good price, and finally decided to grab it. But again, this is kind of a blind purchase because I'm not really familiar with their music. I might have listened to like one song after she was talking about them and decided to that it might be something I might be into, so I thought I'd pick up this record. But yeah, should be interesting to check this one out. M83. If you're familiar with them, by all means let me know. 1994, we get Gary Hoey, a guitar player. This is the soundtrack to the Endless Summer 2 surfing movie documentary that came out in 94. I saw that film in the theaters, really good. And I have the music by the Sandals, who did a lot of the music for the first Endless Summer and did some music for Endless Summer 2. But he did the bulk of it, and I like surf guitar. I like it. My memory is that a lot of this is that. I'm hoping that's what it is, instrumentals, but I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that's what I'm getting here. And this I found in like their clearance section, so this was like $1 or $1.50 or something like that. They have a ton of clearance stuff. It's almost a little overwhelming. You kind of like digging through that sometimes because there's stuff down below and everything, and you're just kind of like, oh my god, I could be here for 500 days trying to look through all this stuff. But this one I saw, and you know, again, the price was right. I decided to give it a try, but I'm not really familiar with this music other than when I saw it in the movie. But I mean, I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but yeah, this I'm sure will be pretty good. 1993, we get Girl Trouble and their album New American Shame. This is a blind buy. I already mentioned that a little bit. A couple of these might be blind buys. This is complete blind buy. I have no idea what their sound is or anything. I did look up and it sounded like they were like kind of punk band or something like that. But when I was flipping through all the bins, you know, just going through looking for stuff, I just going through, I saw the cover and it kind of looked interesting, or looked like it might be something I might be into. I just did a quick little search to see what kind of music they play, and like I said, it said like, I believe punk or like alternative rock or whatever. It sounded good to me, and I think this CD was priced at like $2, so I was like, you know what, $2, I'll take a shot on this. If I don't like it, I'll give it to Mike Kelly up in Boston. He always likes getting my throwaways. But yeah, so we'll see. If you're familiar with these guys, by all means let me know. And Mike, hopefully this CD is really good and I like it and I don't need to mail it to you. 2018, we get La Luz and their album Floating Features. Kind of alternative band. I just saw them recently live down in Charleston when I was working there, and was really good. I owned one record by them, and after I saw them live, I was like, I gotta pick up some more stuff by them. So I was looking for it, found this one there at Amoeba used. I forget what I paid for it, but it wasn't very expensive, maybe $4 or something. This one folds out kind of weird. This is the booklet inside. But really good band. And when I saw them live, I really liked the show, obviously, and that's why I wanted to pick up more of their music. But this one's in kind of a funky digipack. I'm not too much a fan of this kind. It's like the CDs in like a sleeve, but really cool band, which I've said 100 times now, right? There's the CD. But this album, I think this might be their most recent one. I'm not familiar with any of the tunes on here, although I'm sure a few of these they played when I saw them live. By all means, check them out if you like alternative. It's all-female band. Check them out, and if you get the chance to see them live, I highly recommend you see La Luz. 1979, we get the Patti Smith Group and their album Wave. I have a handful of stuff by Patti Smith and was surprised I didn't have this one. This was in the clearance section. It was $1.99. I'll show you in a minute. Here's the inside of the booklet. I love Patti Smith. You know, she's kind of like there in that beginning of the New York punk scene, with Television and later the Ramones and Blondie and Talking Heads. This has got Dancing Barefoot, which I know is really good. None of the other ones are jumping out at me. We're really looking forward to this, and like I said, this was in the clearance section. They have a lot of these CDs sometimes in their clearance section where they or basically warning you that like it's reduced because there might be some scratches or something on it, but they guarantee it that it'll play perfectly. I've bought a bunch like this from that section of their store, and I've never had a problem. So I got this at a really, really good price. Next up, Jimmy Cliff and his self-titled album. This I actually already own. Of course, Jimmy Cliff, the great reggae star, kind of there at the birth of it, or at least the, you know, the spreading of reggae early on. But I already own this album. I have it. This version is kind of like a extended or a special edition, whatever you want to call it. This all folds out. A whole bunch of liner notes here discussing this album and its impact on reggae and history and music in general. But this one on the great Trojan Records, it has a whole bunch of bonus tracks. I mean, there's 11 tracks on the original album, and this has 25 total, so it's like you get more bonus tracks than you do from the original album. But I bought this because of that, and it was pretty cheap, maybe $6 or $7, so I thought I'd replace my copy with this one. So hey, Mike Kelly, you might be getting a copy of Jimmy Cliff's first album if you don't have it. 1990, we get the compilation from The Alarm called Standards, Best Of. Again, I think this was from the clearance section, so I got this for like $1, $1.50 or something like that. I love The Alarm, great rock band, you know, really popular in the 80s. I don't know where they're from, Scotland or UK, I don't know, but great band. They never had huge success here in the United States. They did a bit on college radio and everything, but not like really the top 40 so much. But great band. Really like this band, and I have a few of their records. So some of this stuff I own already, but you know, there's a good amount of, especially some of the earlier stuff that I don't have already. So that's why I decided to pick this up. But yeah, really great band, The Alarm. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with them. And finally, Human Switchboard on vinyl and their album, Who's Landing in My Hangar. I've talked about this band a lot. I just discovered them this year, this summer. I got the CD anthology that came out blind buy, didn't know the band or anything. Just looked up that they were like a post-punk, new wave kind of band in New York. Really only put out this one record. But I just really dug this band. Like, they just really clicked for me. Kind of television sound, maybe early Blondie, and I just really loved them. So I'm constantly trying to let people know about this band. And there's a couple of friends of mine on here, JT up in Reno. I told him about this band and sent him a copy of this, and from what I understand, he enjoyed the album quite a bit. And I was looking for this on vinyl because I wanted to send it to another YouTube buddy of mine, and so I went over there to Amoeba to the vinyl section to see if they had it, and because I know online you can get it for like maybe $20 or something like that. And I go over to the vinyl section and wasn't really expecting they'd have it, and they did, and then it was only $4.99. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was looking at this price tag like I was misreading it somehow. I was like, that can't be $4.99, but it is. So I instantly grabbed it up, and I was like, I'm gonna grab this and pass it on to somebody. VCLT, hey, what do you know? Somebody should trademark that. But yeah, just a great band. Like I said, kind of like post-punk, new wave, really catchy songs. You know, it's a shame they didn't really have more success because they deserved it. But yeah, really cool, and hopefully the person I'm passing this on to will enjoy it as much as I think they will, because then I'll make a new fan of the Human Switchboard, and there'll be 3 of us now. So anyways, that's everything I got at Amoeba this time. But I really love that store, always love it. Glad I don't live near it, because it'd be too tempting to go over there on a regular basis. But by all means, let me know what you think of any of these. You know, if you've been to Amoeba, been to the new store, what do you think about the new store compared to the old store, or anything like that? Love to hear your comments. And I think I'm gonna go take a dip in this LA River. That water looks really tempting. What is that? Anyways, thanks for tuning in. We shall see you all the next time.